It's the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. It's episode 100, and we're in the studio.
This
really
is
nice.
awesome,
Let's roll the intro.
Man, shout out to Cut to the Chase Podcast, man. Y'all go listen up.
There's not much else to say other than, greatest rivalry in sports.
Here we come, baby. We're rocking and rolling. We're turning and burning. We're on them, baby. Here I come. That's a guy that can get deep, take the top off the defense.
Magnitude for each and every playoff game is through the roof.
Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We bring you unique insight analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate and professional levels. I'm your host, Chase Shantz. Everyone's in studio today. This is dope, man. Go right down the line. Matt, how you doing, man?
It's the first time I've been nervous for an episode in a while. But, dude, I'm so excited to be here. I got guys from work watching. Give a shout-out to one guy, Joe Dean, man. I'm glad you're tuning in tonight. All right. Brady, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. It's awesome to be in here. It's been a long time coming with this 100th episode. And really excited to be here and excited to break down some things and celebrate being a 100th episode.
Man, this has, been a long time coming. It's been about, a little over 2 years for us doing this show. Matt got added on last year. I think it was April 2021.
Yeah, absolutely.
2022, actually.
Yeah, it's about my year anniversary. So,
yeah. I mean, it's been great. What's some things you guys have learned along the way with the podcast?
I've learned that Matt Ricketts was a good addition to the podcast.
There we go.
It's been enjoyable to have him on, and also just to do this in general with these two. It's been awesome. And it's good to continue. And I'm happy we've made it this far. And we're definitely going to keep pushing, turning and burning, and all that. So definitely learned that it's been exciting.
For me, though, I just feel like what I've learned from podcasting in general is, especially as a team, if you're going at it as a group, as a collective, you got to play off of each other's strengths and weaknesses really well. I think we've talked about it off air. I just feel like we all do a great job of making sure everybody's put in great positions to be successful on the podcast. I think we do a really good job because we're just such a tight-knit group of friends. So I would say that's the most important thing I've learned so far.
Man, I mean, we've done a lot of, there's a lot of work behind the scenes for the show. I mean, we got to, come up with scripts and all that, look at, a bunch of numbers, throw out some interesting notes on the show. It's really just us talking sports, having fun with it. And these are my dogs, man. I mean, we've gotten close over the last.
That's what I'm saying.
Years. It's crazy, man. I mean, we've come really close together. We've had some great, guests we've had on. I mean, the people at the bottom of the screen, you guys see it. There's so many names out there, but it's, we couldn't thank you guys enough. Too many names to think of, but just super excited. It's the 100th episode. We've taken it, awesome. To another level and all, and hopefully we can keep going up from here and turn and burn, man.
Turning and burning, baby. We're turning and burning,
man. I mean, let's drop some headlines real quick. So there have been 3 quarterbacks that were selected in the top 4 picks of the NFL draft. You had Bryce Young going to Carolina. You had C.J. Stroud in Houston, and then Anthony Richardson went to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, very questionable pick there, but they kind of slim pickings there. What was your reaction when you saw those first couple picks, Matt?
I wasn't really shocked. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors coming out later, and as we got close to the draft about CJ falling out of the top 10. Maybe how far is he going to go? I wasn't shocked at all. I thought it might have been a lot of smoke put out there by the Texans just because they didn't want anybody to try to trade up or get that pick or whatever. So, I thought it was a great job by the Texans to, try to throw the smoke screen out. But at the same time, it was like, dude, you weren't fooling anybody. We all kind of all kind of knew what was going on, especially towards the end there. It was, Bryce he didn't even take any meetings with anybody else towards the end. So we knew he was going number 1. It just felt like, how it is every year, Brady. It was just smoke and mirrors everywhere.
Yeah, ultimately, you really can't pass on the best thrower in the draft when you got him right there at number 2 to further your franchise. Even though he's got Deshaun Watson's agent, I mean, I'm sure CJ's not going to hold that against the organization. I mean, he just wants a chance, and they gave him that chance. It's going to be tough. Obviously, the Houston Texans aren't a very good team, but that's sort of step in the right direction in terms of the quarterback situation. Those are probably so Bryce and CJ are obviously better than the rest, in my opinion. Those were the two best by a wide margin. And then Anthony Richardson, obviously, being a freak athlete, is a better pick than Will Levis for sure. Do I love it? No. Do I think Anthony Richardson will be good as a Colt? No, I don't. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to everyone's going to talk about the potential, but many people have. DJ Uiagalelei has potential if Anthony Richardson has
He
potential.
loves talking a lot about DJ and his shortcomings and all that, but he's had a lot of shortcomings.
No, I
overall.
predicted DJ to be the best quarterback in 2021 in the college football.
You did.
So
Yeah.
it's just I just like to bring that up. Just like he's a big physical guy like Anthony Richardson that can throw far, but can he hit his receivers on time and accurate? That's
We'll
what needs
see
to
what
happen.
happens.
We'll see what happens with that one. I mean, it's more potential than anything with Anthony Richardson. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, with Anthony Richardson, he got drafted 4th to the Colts. They had the option to go with Will Levis. Will Levis actually went golfing with Shane Steichen and some of the Colts guys in the organization a couple of days before the draft. And, everybody was kind of like, oh, I mean, he's probably bound to be a Colt. People on Reddit were like, oh, he's bound to be a first overall pick. Just some random guy on Reddit throws that out there. Oh, Will Levis told his family that he's going to be the first overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
We just believe a guy on Reddit and just Vegas skyrockets.
That was crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Nuts.
It was unbelievable how Vegas fell for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I always feel like Vegas are the smartest people.
They're
in the
one
world.
step ahead
The
of everybody,
smartest
it seems like.
people in the world making lines. Everybody knows where the money's going. I was a little surprised by it. I mean, honestly.
I was too. I mean, one part of my thought is maybe they were just they know they could get half the money on both
That
sides.
is true.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe they didn't believe it and they just thought that could work out that way. But I don't know. It was shocking to see that. Did not believe it for a second personally that he would go number 1. I just didn't think they could be that dumb. I mean, I've seen some really dumb mistakes made, but that would be astronomical.
But when you look at it, I mean, with some of those people that are making mistakes out there in Vegas and all that, the old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Correct.
So, and we'll stick it out west, though, actually. So the Lakers and the Warriors played last night. The Lakers ended up winning 117-112. That was a fantastic game going on. I know Jake's back there laughing at me. Stop it, man. Come on, man. Come on. 1-0. All right, fine. But, yeah, I mean, you saw, the Warriors, Steph Curry had 27 points, had a rough night going. All right. But he, was kind of slow to start. Anthony Davis, 30 points, 23 rebounds. What did you guys see from the series? You guys watching this game? What do you expect?
What do I expect from the series? I mean, I think the Lakers at this point, with the Bucks losing in the first round, if I had to put my life on it, I think I would pick the Lakers to win the title this year.
Put your life on it?
If I had to put my life on a team.
Okay.
To win,
So
if I had to put my life on a team, if I knew that somebody had a gun to my head, said I had to pick a team to win the finals this year, right now, all the teams left, I would pick LA.
Sound like Max Kellerman right there, man.
I would pick LA. So I wasn't shocked. Now, here's going to be the key to success for the Lakers. It's going to be LeBron's picking his spots nowadays. Where how hard can he go at certain times during certain games, depending on the situation, what's going on like that. It's going to be how consistent can Anthony Davis be offensively scoring points. It has nothing to do with rebounds or defense. He has been the best defensive player in the playoffs, in the NBA playoffs so far this year. Unbelievable how a great of a rim protector he is, contesting shots. It's getting to the point now where people aren't even wanting to go into the paint because they're so scared of how good of a rim protector he is. So that's kind of my take from it. I think it's going to end up coming down, when we get to the Western Conference Finals and even later in this series, personally, because let's not count out the Warriors. Don't count out Steph Curry at all. Okay. That dude's a dog too. I mean, he's going to have to score. He's going to have to put up, he's going to have to average 25 a game in this series. He had 30 last night. He might have a game where he gets
50 in game
21,
7
22.
Kings,
right. That's what I'm saying.
They need him a lot,
Anthony Davis is going to have to average 25 for the rest of the playoffs for the Lakers to win the title. I think he will.
It's going to
Brady,
be
what about you?
Yeah, so last night I didn't watch, I'm going to be honest, but I've been watching some of the playoffs so far. Last night was just a little too late.
10 o'clock start.
10 o'clock start was
it's just dude, especially for me,
West
dude,
Coast,
when I got to get up early and go to work,
Yeah.
dude, I'm like, I ain't watching that.
yeah, so I didn't watch
I'm
it.
catching all the highlights. I'm catching everything else. But,
Screw you, West Coast.
but
Come
when
on.
when they play on the weekends, I'm tuning in. For sure.
But yeah, in general though, the two most famous players in the NBA are probably LeBron, definitely number 1, Steph Curry number 2.
For sure.
Those are the two most known players in the NBA, and the two most storied rival between two players in the NBA right now, probably. So it's going to be awesome to see more battles between the two. I think the Lakers have a good shot, but I mean, obviously you can't count out the Warriors as well, like Matt said. And I think that there's going to be a game or two where Curry just can't miss.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to get that game. It's really hard to beat them when he's not missing. And I think it's going to come down to maybe a game 7. We'll see what happens with that, but definitely really entertaining to watch, see those two go at it.
It's a big thing, man. I mean, Steph Curry had 50 points in Game 7 against the Sacramento Kings. Looking at a little bit, a bigger opponent in the Los Angeles Lakers. You obviously got LeBron, AD on the other side. Another AR-15, but this time in basketball, and Austin Reeves. Had to mention them on there, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that. I think it's gonna go dang near the distance.
I do too. I just think it was huge for the Lakers to get that win. It was almost
big, yeah.
Because they had already taken care of their first round opponent. They were coming off the rest. The Warriors were coming off the big 50 points, Steph, 7-game win or 7-game win. So it was important for the Lakers to capitalize on the Warriors with a little bit of a hangover, coming off a big performance. It would have been bad if they went down 1-0.
And a big thing is, I mean, each game is going to be a day. There's going to be a day of rest in between each game. This entire season, It's not going to be a 2 or 3 game, 3-day rest period. So it's going to be, you're going to play, rest, rest. It's going to be a lot of games in this time frame. LeBron, Anthony Davis got to stay afloat, and that game 1 win was really big. Third and final headline. The NFL schedule releases actually next Thursday, May 11th at 8:00 on NFL Network and ESPN. It's going to be very, very big. There's 272 matchups out there. A couple notable ones. You got the Cowboys and the 49ers play each other in San Francisco. The Bills come back to Cincinnati. I know you had the DeMar Hamlin incident going on there. That's going to probably be in prime time. I mean,
it's going to be so weird watching those two teams in Cincinnati again, just because of what
odd.
Happened. You know what I mean? Yep. It's going to be very weird. It's going to be,
it's going to be. There's rumblings that they might have that game played on Monday Night Football again. I wouldn't do that if I were them.
It's such an odd predicament because you get the eerie feeling of it when it happens, but also you try to honor what happened. You know what I mean? Try to honor his. If he's back on that field playing again, because he's cleared to play again, am I correct?
Yeah.
If he's back on there, I mean, could you imagine the stadium of it? That would be, so many people would be in tears.
I did. Tune in to watch that. Another big matchup, you got the Chiefs and the Eagles, Super Bowl. Brady, we were watching that together.
We were. Yeah, so that'll be fun. A rematch of that game, especially with the new additions that each team has / departures for some instances, but definitely going to be interesting to see. And I'm excited for that game.
I'm going to be honest with you. The thing I'm most looking forward to, now everybody likes to dog on the Thursday night games. Yeah. But, dude, I'm telling you, so for everybody at home, I'm not a huge NFL dude. Now I'll watch games like casually on Sunday, but as everybody likes to know, I like to drink a lot of beers on Saturday during the fall because
very true about that.
The Buckeyes are playing, college football is my thing. So Sunday's kind of my recovery day. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of lounging around, fall asleep, wake up. It's kind of like my background golf, Sunday NFL football. You know what I'm saying?
There's a reason he missed a couple episodes on Sunday morning. That's all I'm going to say.
Who's your favorite player in the NFL, actually?
Jamar Chase is my favorite player. But so the Thursday night games are always the games I watch. That's the game I watch start to finish every week. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm interested to see what, they usually throw the crappy matchups on Thursday night. Screw that, dude. I want to see what interesting matchups we have that could end up being big-time games at some point down the regular season. Who's scheduled for the Thursday night games? I guess that's kind of what I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple really, really bad matchups record wise. They had some bad actual contests going on.
The Bears and Redskins, dude, wasn't that a bad one? Was that one of them?
Redskins, whatever name you want to throw out for the
I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm gonna get canceled. The Commanders. I'm sorry, guys.
Man, it's that what you can throw any team out for Washington, they'll take any type of name. But yeah, that game, I mean, the Bears and Commanders was not good. The Colts Broncos the week before, I think Russ had 2 interceptions. It was
like 12-6 or something.
Yeah, something really
something
bad.
Stupid. Dude, we've been off of football for 3 days at that point. So I'm like, this is the only, I love football so much. I'm like, dude, this is the start of the week. I'm going to watch. I watch every Thursday night game, at least the beginning.
And the people actually from NBC that run Sunday Night Football, they actually do the production for that show. So you can kind of see the feel. Al Michaels is on the call. Chris Herbstreit, one of the best analysts out in college football, does it as well. Like it's not a bad production.
I pull it up on my phone with the Amazon Prime, bro. It's perfect.
It's not a bad production at all. They got a great, pregame crew. Chris Thompson.
It's not bad. It's just the teams.
It's just the teams that
might have
had a couple good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have a couple fantasy players playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a great way to start the fantasy week off. Great way to start the week off.
That's a big thing there. And, we'll kind of throw it over to you, Matthew.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and – so for this section of the show, I'm going to kind of host it, I guess. take it over a little bit. We're going to cover the NFL draft here. So to start off, Chase, we're going to start with you here. Which team do you think had the most flawless draft, the best draft overall this year?
I think first off, when it comes to these 2 first-round picks, I think the Seattle Seahawks did a really, really good job. They got Devon Witherspoon at pick 5. Kind of threw some people a little off guard, thinking that Jalen Carter was still on the board. So that was a little interesting. And then obviously the first year off the board, Jackson Smith and Jigba goes at 20. I mean,
what a steal!
20
What a steal! What a
receivers.
steal!
It was
what
unbelievable how that happened. But
what
I think the Seahawks really did a good job in the first round, getting those, using those 2 first-round picks to great value. Those guys are going to instantly play on day 1. And Zach Charbonnet in the second round is going to be coupled with Kenneth Walker in the backfield. I think Seattle's going to have a very, very explosive offense this year. And, instead of let Russ cook, it's let Geno cook this time.
Absolutely. Brady, over to you. Who do you think had the best draft?
Yeah, so the Seattle Seahawks had an amazing draft. I'm going to choose a different team just because he already chose the Seahawks. I think this other team was the second best or first best. I think it's interchangeable. I'm going to go with the Eagles. And I know they kept picking Georgia players, but that's because they fell. Jalen Carter fell to 9. I think that was a good spot to take him. Obviously, very disruptive defensive tackle. And then you got Nolan Smith at I believe 31, obviously, because that was the last pick of the first round.
Yep.
Or was it?
I think it was 30. Yeah,
30.
They had the whole thing with the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Because there was
second to last
31
pick in the
picks.
draft. Yeah.
Second to last pick in the first round at 30. That was a good pick. You got Keely Ringo day 3. I really personally believe that's a good – or day 2, I mean. Late third round. That's a good pick.
I would agree. There was guys a couple years ago when he came out saying he was going to be a first round pick.
Yeah. Before the season, he was projected top 5. Yeah. He had one bad game this year, and that was against us. I mean,
he
had a great game against.
There's a guy named Marvin Harrison coming next year, guys.
There's no. The only other thing was Julian Fleming also got him a couple times.
One thing we know, Matt does not.
I'm going to watch my language here today.
But Keely Ringo, good pick there. In my opinion, in the third round. And then this one goes unnoticed. They signed undrafted corner Elias Ricks.
Why? Yeah.
Wow. Because huge. I think he's a first-round talent, personally.
I'd absolutely do too.
First-round talent. He didn't give up a touchdown in coverage this year.
It's pretty crazy.
That guy should have went after him.
Maybe
in the portal.
He had some
issues. But he would have played.
Yeah, he would have played. But
I'm with you.
But based off pure talent alone, 6'2" corner, long arms, maybe even 6'3". He huge wingspan. Really haven't seen him get beat. He's a ball hawk, and he blocks down receivers. So Elias Ricks, undrafted, that's a better player than Keely Ringo, who was also a good pick in my opinion. So great draft for the Eagles.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a great draft for the Eagles, one of the best organizations we have. And then, Chase, I'm with you. The Seahawks, incredible value.
John Schneider, man, he's killing up there. Howie Roseman as well. Let Howie cook. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of good things.
Incredible value with JSN. Dropping from – dude, he's easy a top 10 player in this draft.
It's
cleared at 20.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, because people will say it's a weak receiver draft. It's like,
it is a weak receiver draft.
Wait.
Yeah.
I was going to address that. Other than him.
Yeah.
He is the outlier. By far the best in this draft. Kind of clear like that Quentin Johnston or Zay Flowers isn't. He's the outlier. He is the prospect that Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson were last year. Like he's that level.
Every bit.
Player.
Did we have 4 receivers taken in a row? I believe we
had
JSN, Quentin Johnston. I think we had Zay Flowers and then Jordan Addison.
That's absolutely correct.
That's unbelievable. They had 4 in a row right there.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and transition here. Chase, which team do you think had the most disappointing draft this year?
Honestly, up front, I think the Cowboys did. The fact that they drafted Mozzie Smith in the first round was, that just didn't make a whole lot of sense. I know they had to, get some stuff in for the defensive line, but I think, overall they had other places to look at. I don't think defensive line would have been the first. I don't even think that Mozzie Smith would have been the first person they should have looked at, man. I think they reached there. He could have been.
What pick was it?
Round. I think it was 26.
Yeah,
26. They got him at. He was gonna be available later on.
100%.
Early second round, they wanted to trade up and all that.
But I guess if they got their guy,
I think that that's what I'm saying. That's the thing with the draft, man. If you get your guy, then you're cool. It doesn't matter what pick it is. You get your guy, like kind of like how Lions are doing it. But that's another story.
Speaking of the Lions,
is that who you think it is?
That's my pick.
You really
wow!
Really?
Wow! For sure.
Wow!
Sure. Okay. I just hated the first because the first round, obviously, the most important round in the draft because you're getting your most highly valued player. That's where the best players are available. Like straight and simple. Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, ridiculous reach. I don't get why you wouldn't just take him at 18. Nobody was taking him 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17. just a reach. And he's a good running back, but running back that high is just kind of ridiculous in that scenario, especially when it's not a huge need. But
well, it is now.
Let me just say, I mean, they did have DeAndre Swift was on the last year of his deal. They were probably
shopping him.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They were
all that. I mean, they kind of capitalized on what they, you know what I'm saying, like the needs that they had and all that.
Yeah,
I know there was a reach at 12. He would have definitely been there at 18.
Yeah, I just think it was a reach was the main thing, and they also have other running backs. And then Jack Campbell, 18, was also a reach, in my opinion. Good linebacker, really good linebacker, but you don't need a middle linebacker at 18. I mean, I'm sorry. He's just you're going to find other ones there too. Yeah. That's just the reason I'm going with them. I didn't really understand that.
I actually thought that their second and third round was actually pretty good. They got Brian Branch, and they ended up, I think, getting Hendon Hooker later on and all.
Those were good.
The Jahmyr Gibbs thing is like,
100%
totally cool with. I get the reach at 12 to 18 wise. He would have felt at 18, no doubt.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm telling you, you guys know how much I love this guy.
Yeah.
He is elite of an elite talent. So if they really felt like there was even a sliver of a chance, if they felt like there was a sliver of a chance that he wasn't falling to 18, I'm not going to bash him for it. Like I just said, if you find your guy, go get your guy. That's the big thing. If you thought there was a fraction of a chance he wasn't making it to 18, take him.
Yeah,
I'll stand by it.
It's just gotta, it just depends on how people kind of look at it. Though, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we could say, oh, that was, right now we could say that was a reach, okay. But 3 years down the road, we might not be saying it. He might be one of the best running backs in football. It's all kind of a guessing game.
I think I would agree with that. If he is, that's the only way it's not, in my opinion, is if he is one of the best running backs, which he could be. Yeah. Another thing, they drafted Sam Laporta, I believe, in the second round.
Yeah, they got him at 34, I think.
There was tight ends better than that. I'm sorry. Like,
they definitely were.
Iowa has some great players. He was a good tight end for them, but that's not a pick you take there.
All right, so let's go ahead and transition number 3 here. Chase, out of the rookie quarterbacks, which quarterback do you think has the best chance to take his team to the playoffs? And also, you got to take into account here, which quarterback's going to actually start for their teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's pretty easy. It's Bryce Young. I think from the standpoint they have Andy Dalton on their roster. Andy Dalton could start the first couple of games for the Carolina Panthers, but just from the sheer fact that it's the weak AFC, it's the weak NFC South. The AFC South's pretty weak too. Don't get me wrong there, but the NFC South in general. I mean, the Saints, they got Derek Carr. Good pickup. That's probably the favorite as of right now in this. The Panthers having Bryce Young get number 1 overall pick. The Bucs are in hiatus. The Falcons, their defensive mindset, they drafted Bijan Robinson. But I think, when it comes to a 2-team race, I think it's the Saints and the Panthers. I think both of those teams have 2 of the best rosters in that weaker division. And I think, if Bryce Young progresses and comes along later on in the season, I think he could get to the playoffs.
Okay, Brady, what about you?
Yeah, he's really the only one in a good situation that I think could take his team to the playoffs this year. I would agree for sure. Panthers in the weak division, if he can get it rolling, he's got a good team around him compared to what most number 1 overall picks get around them. So I think he's got a good shot for playing against the Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers every year. For sure, that's really the only pick you can really take.
Yep. I agree. I mean, it's got to be Bryce Young. I mean, let's be real. Will Levis comes out and starts being a beast, and he still has Derrick Henry around him.
Will the thrill, man.
I think the best team around him is probably the Titans, but just a general. I'll take. Would you say?
It's up
the
there.
Colts.
I mean, think about it, because
last year I thought the Colts were going to be really good.
I thought so too. Like, you have Derrick Henry in Tennessee.
That's what I'm
saying. A great defense.
And a great defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they run the ball, do a lot of play action.
That's what I'm saying.
Will could be all right, but they have Ryan Tannehill up there. If Ryan Tannehill starts, shitting the bed, maybe it's time for Will.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So whatever. We'll see. So let's transition to the next one. Most questionable pick of the first round this year.
I kind of want to hear what Brady has to say.
Okay, Brady, go ahead. Take it off.
Oh, most questionable pick of the first round. Personally, I'll probably go. I'm sorry, I'm going with it. I've got to go with Mozzie Smith at 26. A defensive tackle that was good, but defensive tackle is obviously it's a position you want to have good players at. But it's not like, oh wow, we need this defensive tackle to change our franchise. It's just like it's probably a middle of the pack position of need. And he was a good defensive tackle in the run game, but he's just didn't do much in the pass game. Good player in college, but I mean he's just not at 26. Come on, man. Like that was ridiculous. And he had some personal issues too with the gun stuff and all that.
Didn't even get reported. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh decided to
swipe that one under the rug. Thanks, dude.
Right, exactly.
If it was an Ohio State player, every game would have been forfeited already.
Yeah, and I think Brzee was even better than him.
Absolutely.
Overall, the player.
Let's hear it, dude.
So I was thinking Mozzie Smith for a second, but honestly, I think one of the biggest reaches out there was Lucas Van Ness at 13.
Oh, yeah,
I thought he would have been there later on in the first round, early second round. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, part of that good Iowa defense and all, but I just thought it was a completely huge reach of them to go at 13 with Lucas Van Ness when they had other pass rushers like Nolan Smith on the board who fell down to 30. I thought that was absurd.
I think it was Anthony Richardson for real. I do. Yeah. I just don't think.
That's my original pick.
I understand like the hype around the quarterback position, but dude, don't waste a first. If you suck this year, okay, you suck. Whatever. Don't waste your premium pick on a crappy quarterback. Build your team around. Eventually, you'll get your big star quarterback, or you could trade for somebody, or you could sign a decent quarterback in free agency to get you to the 7 or 8 win mark, so you're not irrelevant. Don't waste your premium top 5 draft pick on a total talented project, if you will.
An actual project.
A total project at quarterback. That was, I'm just like, I understand the quarterbacks are premium, but it's just
how it is.
It's just stupid.
That's just how
it was just dumb. There was 2 quarterbacks in this draft worth of crap. If you didn't get them in the top, if you didn't have a top 2 pick or trade for a top 2 pick, you weren't getting them.
Now, let me add this real quick. They have Gardner Minshew on their roster, who is right now, the projected starter. But when Jim Irsay came out and said, "Oh, Anthony Richardson's our day 1 starter," he's the guy right from the jump.
I mean, he's
asking for trouble. He's asking for Chris Ballard to go on ahead and get fired. This
100%.
is absurd.
Anthony Richardson will be a meme in a year if he starts year 1. I'll tell you that much.
Big bust.
Another thing about it too is I have kind of a hot take. Take this as you will. I think quarterback position is a little overrated. I'll tell you what I mean by this. If you get, I don't care if you get Josh Allen. I'm just naming a random good quarterback out there.
Yeah.
If you don't have players around him, he's going to look terrible. You've got to get your roster built up.
It's an organizational build, man.
Yeah, you've got to.
The organization's so huge in this.
Exactly. Like,
don't get me wrong. The Colts are a good organization. It's just like, dude.
And sometimes it is a couple years, you know what I'm saying? Like you get the quarterback, you try your best to build around him when he first comes in, but then the next year is when you make that big jump. But then there's some teams that don't even do that, and then they let their quarterbacks out there to dry.
That's why Bryce Young is in such a good situation. He came into a team that wasn't supposed to be the number 1 pick. He's gonna have the better situation than every other rookie quarterback. So it's like he has the least chance to bust based on players around him, for sure.
I would agree with that part.
Straight up.
Yeah. All right. So, in terms of draft picks, on the last day of the draft, who is your day 3 Jim?
Zach Kuntz, 7th round pick, Jets,
Wow.
Old Dominion. If he gets out there, gets a chance to catch pass from Aaron Rodgers, I think he's gonna be great. I mean, he's good 6'5", 6'6". Just get him in the system. If he's able to just get in that tight end rotation that goes on in New York. Just being able to have the guys like Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard. Even Randall Cobb is now a Jet. He's like 30 whatever. But
I feel like Randall Cobb is like 55.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
He's one of those dudes that's been around since I was
he looks like a lot of people's uncle.
I was like in middle school playing with Jordy and Rodgers. Like, dude, I feel like I don't even know if he was on the Super Bowl team or not.
I think he was the year after.
Dude, but it just feels like it's been so long.
It's been a good minute though. But I think Zach Kuntz. I think that's
Brady, what about you?
For me, it's a guy that we've known well, DeJuan Jones.
100%. That was who I was going to say.
This is a first-round talent. Absolutely obliterated the Senior Bowl. Monster human, great athlete, was amazing for 2 years as a starter at OSU. It's kind of crazy to me that he fell to the 4th round. I mean, that's the day 1 starter. If he doesn't start, I'll be shocked for the Browns. I can't believe he fell. I'm hearing different reports that it's because he mishandled senior day. And he he didn't practice after a couple of days after he was locking people up.
Handled senior day.
Yeah.
That's
injuries and stuff.
Yeah. And I also heard that he didn't weigh in. He didn't weigh in at pro days, and obviously he struggled with weight, which is whatever, dude. He's 6'8". 350 pounds.
It's a-
Okay, like
it's a
dude,
strength,
he's
for real.
freaking huge.
Absolute
He's a,
wall unit, whatever.
he is a mammoth and
Yes.
dominated the Georgia offensive line. Okay,
He threw Jalen Carter on the ground.
He threw the number 1 defensive tackle in the draft on the ground. Like, he is a monster. To fall to the 4th round was absurd. Ohio State had the 2 best tackles, offensive tackles, in college football last year, in my opinion, that were draft eligible this year. And one of them fell all the way to the 4th round.
And now
Travesty.
he's going to be lead blocking for Nick Chubb.
A
downhill.
travesty.
That I know
Shocked.
Jaden's going to like that, though. I mean, that's pretty interesting right there.
Okay, so we're going to take it over to the next one here. I'm going to go first on this one, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to go first.
No,
Hall,
you're not.
Hall of Famer of the future. Hall of Famer of the future in this draft. I just touched on it. Paris Johnson Jr., okay? The offensive tackle from Ohio State, number 6 to Arizona.
Yep.
I think he is just a freakish athlete for the position. I remember watching film at him in high school down in was it Fairfield or it was Princeton, Cincinnati Princeton, right?
Yeah.
Cincinnati Princeton, just freaking chucking, throwing dudes around, going crazy down there. So he is a Joe Thomas-esque. That's exactly what I see him being. He didn't land in a great Arizona,
like Joe Thomas.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. He landed with Cleveland, ended up with a 10, 15-year career. I don't know exactly how many years, Joe. Forgive me. That's exactly what I see Paris Johnson being. Yeah. He'll be the rock for the Arizona Cardinals organization for 15 years into the future. Exactly what Joe Thomas was. Hopefully, we see some success, a lot more success than Joe had with his team. Hopefully the Cardinals are good and he enjoys tons of success. That's who I see as the future Hall of Famer in this draft, no doubt in my mind. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Brady.
Yeah, so we just talked about 2 Buckeyes, so I'm not going to name a guy I would want to name. 'Cause we don't want to make it. But I'm going to name a different guy that actually plays for the same team as the guy that I want to name. That's Devon Witherspoon.
Okay.
There's a short posted on our channel. Go check it out. That I was talking about Devon Witherspoon being the most consistent corner in this class. Now, I would stand by that. I think he's going to be a great player. He's the only corner in this draft that didn't get beat in college by in a matchup. Like, he didn't have not like one play, but in an overall matchup, I did not see Devon Witherspoon lose one this entire season or any previous season. And I've seen that with every other corner. So consistent in man coverage. That's one of my favorite things is he can guard a receiver 1v1. That's what you need to be able to do. And just really love Devon Witherspoon.
Let's hear it.
This could be a cold take. I was going to say Devon Witherspoon, but this could be a cold take. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Wow, that is a cold take.
I really think he is.
Okay.
If he stays healthy.
I like the balls on you. I like the balls on you.
Stephon Diggs, is the number 1 receiver out there. I know they got Gabe Davis right now, but Dalton Kincaid walks in there. Wow. If, a lot of attention's going to be on the outside with Stephon Diggs, and
that's not crazy.
I think he could take over, and Stephon Diggs' contract's coming up soon. And
you think Jason Witten's a Hall of Famer?
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Antonio Gates is for sure a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, already in.
Yeah.
So how about Dallas Clark? Dallas Clark, is he in?
I thought he should be.
But is he or isn't he? I don't think he is either.
But I know,
Gronk for sure. Kelsey for sure.
Yeah. But
so you think so? Who would you compare him to of those guys? I think I would compare him to Jason Witten in terms of the type of career he's going to have, because I feel like of the guys I just said, he's the most borderline of Hall of Fame. Jason Witten is out of those guys. I think.
I really think Dalton Kincaid's going to be Hall of Famer.
Okay,
that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Situational.
That's a good pick. I like that pick. Let me just say, I don't know if I actually think Devon Witherspoon will be a Hall of Famer when I say that.
I mean, this is all
because I have to pick one.
That's all projection.
So far down the road.
Yeah, right. Since we're talking so down the road,
it's a fun thing.
It's definitely fun.
Yeah, I just think if I had to pick one, I'm just gonna go. I think he's got. If he's a lockdown corner, I think he's got a chance.
Okay. All right. So the last of the NFL draft recap here, Chase. Who is the Buckeye in the best situation?
Well, I'm gonna go on a limb and say Zach Harrison was.
Zach Harrison,
goes to the Falcons. You got Calais Campbell down there to mentor him. The Falcons' defense is young. It's constructed well. You've got Jesse Bates on the back end. You got Jeff Okudah now, who was traded for a 5th-round pick down there. AJ Terrell, I believe Casey Hayward still might be down there. I'm not too sure. He's been in the league for quite a while. I think they have a good nucleus for a pass rush, and I think their pass rush is good. Corner play is going to be big. I think they're going to get a lot of interceptions. I think it's going to be called a lot from Zach Harrison inside with the interior pressures as the future goes on.
Ready?
Yeah, so Zach is in a good situation. I like that pick for the Falcons. I'm going to go with Jackson Smith and Jigba.
It's a good one.
I think having two other receiving threats out there is going to be big for him. And I think he's going to personally outproduce both of them this year. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be fun. Geno Smith improving, so he likes to sling it around now. Saw a new version of Geno Smith last year for the Seahawks. So he's going to have a solid quarterback throwing him the rock.
Yeah.
And Seahawks, a great organization to be with. Pete Carroll is a very good head coach, proven that he can maximize people's potential. I just think it's a great situation. Now, he did fall a lot farther than he should have, clearly. There was a lot of teams, I think, that should have taken him before Seahawks, but the fact that the Seahawks got him, I think that's a good situation for him, and I'd rather him be there than a team like the Packers.
I think, like we said about DeJuan Jones, I agree with the JSN part, but DeJuan Jones in a situation where with the ground and pound attack that the Browns already possess, him being able to compete for a job, walk in, maybe even start day one of attack one of the tackles for the Browns, I think he's in a great spot.
So we're going to bring on, our good friend Jaden Pinkleton to the Backstage Cinema podcast. I mean, it's kind of interesting actually bringing somebody onto the set. It's actually really fun. Jaden, thanks for putting this all together, man. How you doing?
We appreciate you.
Yeah, give him the mic.
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you.
Congrats on 100 episodes, everybody.
Most definitely, man.
Thank you.
I mean, just give a little plug to the show. Like, what do you expect on the Backstage Cinema podcast?
Yeah, myself and my co-host Ike, we have a podcast all about movies and TV. I don't know how y'all got started. I know you probably have already shared that story. Ours, we were just sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings. We like movies. We talk about movies. Let's just do it.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're about to hit episode 50. We're not as far along as you guys are, but
Still making the way.
it's a lot of fun. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. And go check them out. They got some great content over there. Good movies, talk, and all that.
What's it called again?
Backstage Cinema.
I might have to subscribe tonight, folks.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we have
to check it out.
Yeah, you guys at home should also as well. I mean, this is they got a good thing going over there.
A lot of shows, yeah.
Most definitely. And Jaden, you're a Browns fan. Just wanted to obviously that comes with a lot of different things. Physical, mental abuse, whatever you want to call it. They had a pretty good draft. What was one of your favorite picks that they had going on?
Well, I mean, y'all have already been talking Ohio State. I think that specifically with DeJuan, we got a really good pickup. I'll be honest, I didn't think he was going to fall that far. So the two for me, though, that stood out is exciting, but also kind of like, really? Cedric Tillman thought was a really good pickup, but at the same time, I was also sad to learn and realize that the reason we probably got him is because they're not going to sign Donovan Peoples-Jones an extension.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Donovan Peoples-Jones fan. He's probably my favorite receiver that we have.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bittersweet.
Most definitely. I mean, Cedric Tillman, good receiver out of Tennessee in the third round. What was kind of a questionable pick that you were looking at? I mean, obviously the round didn't start until the third round.
Yes. Well, yeah. And, we got our first round pick and our second round pick. And I don't think that Deshaun Watson will pan out to be who we expect. Mm-hmm. I also don't think that Elijah Moore is going to pan out to be who they expect. And that's who they were considering their second round pick during the draft. The one for me that I consider questionable, but also a good pickup potentially was Dorian Thomas Robinson out of UCLA.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Drew, good friend of the show. He loves DTR.
I like him too. I would, at least this year, I'm a huge Caleb Williams fan, so I was cheering for USC all year. And that game against UCLA, I mean, he was pretty legit.
He was.
So I know he's good, but like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's fifth round and all that stuff. I mean, it's
he'll be good to back up Watson, but Watson is going to be probably starting every game for the next 4 years unless he sucks and they realize the horrible mistake that they've made.
Gosh, I know. A lot of money thrown out there.
All guaranteed.
Yeah, all guaranteed. We'll put that out there, Lamar. And then immediate impact players. Obviously, I know you got Cedric Tillman and all that, but who do you think an immediate guy is going to play?
I think it's going to be DeWard, 100%. DeJuan, sorry.
Yep.
I again didn't expect to fall that far, and we have a lot of issues in that particular position.
Yep.
Great. absolutely fantastic. We got another cornerback. I forget his name from Northwestern. Great. We already have for Northwestern. We have Greg Newsome, but I feel like that's like the particular room of players at a position that we don't really need more of. So again, 7th round pick. I know that we also picked up, and I haven't checked. I saw that we got a couple of Ohio State guys after the draft.
Yeah.
I think we got like 4 or 5 Ohio State guys.
Ronnie Hickman.
Ronnie Hickman, it was Tanner McAllister.
And
Yeah.
Andy drafted. They drafted Luke White.
Yeah, later on.
Which was-
later on,
which-
6th round, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, I thought it was a decent pickup. Thing with the Browns though is I feel like every year we have a really good draft, but I'm expecting a record of like maybe 5-12.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
we've been in that mode for so long.
I don't expect much. I thought our best first round pick in years was Jedrick Wills, and look how that's turned out.
Yeah, it's
Last
been-
year was
been
awful.
shaky. Yeah.
So
Mhm. Most definitely. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
and just good Browns talk right there. I mean, with them having no first or second round pick, it's been tough for them, and we'll see how things go. Jaden, plug the show one more time, man.
yeah. Backstage Cinema. Y'all can find us on Instagram, TikTok. Not really YouTube. We've kind of lacked in that field. We have one viral video, so maybe you've seen it. I don't know,
Check
but
it out,
that's
though.
about it. But yeah,
But check it out, man. Thanks, Jaden, for coming
Yeah,
on, man. This was dope.
absolutely.
Thanks,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
have fun,
All right.
boys.
All right,
so
Brady.
We appreciate you, Jaden.
Brady. Steelers draft. All right. Favorite pick. Who do you have?
My favorite pick was first pick of the 2nd round, Joey Porter Jr. For sure. The fact that he fell to the 2nd round, he's who I wanted in the 1st round personally when we were at 17. So I obviously said Devon Witherspoon, most consistent corner in the class. He has the most potential with his length, his aggressive play. I mean, I've watched him for years. I've always been a big Joey Porter guy, and ever since his freshman year, he was like lighting it up at Penn State. I always noticed, I'm like, who is this corner at Penn State before he was known? Then I found out I was like Joey Porter Jr. and I realized, Joey Porter's son, obviously, and he was locking some really good players up. He had some good reps against Garrett Wilson, 2021. He lost some reps too. That happens. I remember he had a third and goal stop on him and a goal line fade, which usually doesn't have. It was a great rep there. Just remember that vividly. And in college, he had some personal foul issues and things like that. Flaggy, he handsy a little bit. Great corner pickup, though, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he fell to 32 is crazy. I know us Bengals fans, I know Jake's back there. I mean, we all wanted Joey Porter Jr. We picked up Miles Murphy. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but, great pickup for the Steelers at 32. Who's a questionable pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
A questionable pick. It's hard. I'm gonna go Keanu Benton. I still like that we got him. I thought it was a good draft for the Steelers this year. Keanu Benton, maybe from Wisconsin, the 2nd round. Maybe he would have been there a round later. Maybe the biggest reach that we had, but still a good pickup. Didn't think there was too many big reaches for us this particular year. There have been in the past, but that would probably be my pick there.
All right, and then who's an immediate impact player for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023?
Immediate impact player for Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go with I think I'm going to go with Darnell Washington. I was thinking about him between Joey Porter and him. Both of them will have an impact. I think Darnell and Pat Freiermuth will both have a role. Darnell, in the blocking scheme of things, is going to be a beast. I mean, that dude is a tank. There's nothing else to describe Darnell other than a tank. Also can catch the ball really well and can move for his size. Crazy that we got him in the 3rd round. Projected first by many. Happy he fell there, though. It's going to be nice to see that two tight end sets, and I think he's going to play a lot.
I mean, do we have an identity change coming in Pittsburgh? Obviously, you have Najee Harris back there. He's kind of had, he had a good season in 2021, a little bit of a slip in 2022, but now you have
sucked.
2 tight ends.
Yes.
Yeah, you have 2 tight ends. 2 receivers out there, George Pickens, you got Deontay Johnson, who actually holds the record for most catches in the season without a touchdown catch. That's,
Wow.
That's an interesting nugget there. But,
Yeah.
Maybe we see more 2 tight end sets, more power running scheme for Pittsburgh, kind of, go in that AFC North mode of, let's play power football, let's play action pass. And, maybe we see Pittsburgh kind of go to that. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, Matt, the Baltimore Ravens, you love Lamar Jackson.
I do love
They
Lamar Jackson.
Helped him out.
I
What
do.
was your favorite?
He's my
pick?
second favorite NFL player.
Second favorite NFL.
Second
player.
favorite
All
NFL
right.
player.
So let's go. With Matt. Who's your favorite pick?
So Zay Flowers is the favorite pick. I think he's going to be the pick that steps in and makes the impact right away.
All right. There you go.
And I'm just going to say it right here, right now. I don't really have a pick that's bad or whatever, whichever one, questionable pick for the Ravens. So I'm just going to say good draft, Ravens. But here we go. Zay Flowers is going to step in and be an impact player for him right away. Signed OBJ in the offseason for Lamar. Still got Andrews, Rashad Bateman. Okay, so they've got a good core of receivers around them right there. That where Lamar shouldn't have any excuses. Signed a big deal, whatever, this, that, or the other. Stay healthy, Lamar. You got a great running back in the backfield. As long as JK comes back healthy, great running back group, good offensive line. He's got no excuses now. So I'm going to say Zay Flowers for that answer.
All right. I mean, you could actually took 3 birds
Yeah.
with one stone.
Three
There
birds
you
with
go.
one stone.
There you go. I mean, the infamous Matt Ricketts right there. in the
Turning and
center.
burning.
There you go. There you go. For the Cincinnati Bengals, I was, looking at it, and when we drafted Miles Murphy originally, I gotta wrap this real quick. All right, so throw the shades on real quick.
Oh, my gosh.
I think the Bengals are. There's
What is this?
I don't even know. Thanks for the producer back there at the Sun.
What is this?
I think the Bengals did a very good job with their draft. I think my favorite pick out of all of them, was Chase Brown. Actually, maybe because we share the same first name, but I think he's going to
terrible name.
Shut up. All right, but man, I think Chase Brown's going to come in there, be the second back to Joe Mixon. I think. If he has a pretty productive year, he could take over for Joe Mixon. Within the last year of his contract, he had 1,600 plus yards rushing this year. Pretty good pass catcher out of the backfield, pass blocker. He did a really good job with that. Questionable pick. I was looking at Miles Murphy to start, but I'm not saying it's questionable. It's just like at first I was like, what exactly are we kind of need a corner, we need a tight end, all that stuff. But we went Miles Murphy, but the Bengals think a year in advance.
Brady, are you going to say it or am I going to say it?
Okay, what are you going to say?
Are you going to say it or am I going to say it? We were talking about it earlier.
What?
How bad the Bengals draft was.
Oh, the Bengals had a terrible draft.
You think they had a terrible draft?
The Bengals had a terrible
You think they had a
draft.
terrible draft?
Miles Murphy sucks. DJ, I'm just playing.
Dude, we were no. We were we were talking about how in the car how we were going to rain on your parade when we started talking about the Bengals.
Let's try to do a good job of it, but
DJ Turner, baby.
The sun shines out.
Hey, they got the
I
19th
don't give a
prospect at
shit what
60.
they say. I don't.
They got the
I'm just being
19th
straight up.
prospect at the 60th overall.
Yeah.
So-
I
That's
did.
another show.
I did.
But yeah, I think Miles Murphy. I think the Bengals do a good job of is getting a guy a year
First,
before
second
their
rounder.
contract goes.
Was only one round
with
off.
that. But immediate impact player. Man, I mean, I think it's either going to be Chase Brown or Miles Murphy. I'm going to go Miles Murphy again. I think they're going to get him in the rotation. They're going to put him in, some 3-tech packages. They're going to put him in some third down positions. They're going to give Sam Hubbard or Trey Hendrickson a rest after, Trey Hendrickson runs like 30 or 40 total yards to try to sack Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I think when they get Joseph Osai back and they have Miles Murphy in there, they're going to have a fresh unit every single time on third down rush, and they're going to be able to really, play chess with these offensive lines. I think that's going to be a big thing going forward.
Yes.
So the last episode we did some debates on the program. We got
Yes,
a couple
we did.
of them. If any of you guys got any on your mind right now, we'll save the big one for the last question. Okay, which
What do you think the big one is, though?
the big one,
The first one?
the big one's the first one.
The first one on the
our
script.
thing.
I think
Yes.
that is the big one.
That's the big one. That's actually the big
Probably
one.
the big one.
If you have a debate that pops in your mind, throw it out.
I
there.
think the third
What?
one you have right there is actually
Yeah,
really
but,
interesting.
The thing is, though, I mean,
The third one is very good.
Okay, let's get to it. All right. So, is a Heisman more memorable than a national championship?
So,
Matt?
so me and Brady were talking about it before the show, just kind of going over the script. Like, wow, it stuck out to me. I think the key word there is memorable, because like it just depends with whatever adjective you use there is really, or you're describing word is
that's
important.
the name of the game, right there.
Memorable. I think for most places, most teams, most places, it's going to be the Heisman Trophy for most of the time. Now, if you win a national championship in Columbus, Ohio, you might as well have won 10 Heisman trophies. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So you are immortalized forever.
Yeah.
So I would say most of the college, all most of the in college football, most of the teams, most of the schools. If you win a Heisman Trophy, RG3 and Baylor, dude, he's immortalized forever. He could go into anywhere on Baylor and get a free meal, whatever. Dude, if you walk onto campus at Ohio State as a quarterback, if you're the starting quarterback for Ohio State, you're any sort of good at all, you're going to have free meals forever. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking it just depends on where you win it at. If you win it at Ohio State, Alabama, the schools where football, Notre Dame, Michigan, USC, Penn State, the real true pride of football and college football, I think the national championship is the more memorable. But if you win it at an average to good program, I think it's the Heisman Trophy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Brady, what do you think?
I think I'd echo that. Really, there's not much I could say.
He broke that pretty good. I will say.
Yeah, he did that. He did that one good. Shocking, but
Shocking.
Oh, that was I would agree. I think it's like RG. A good point with RG3. Like they remember RG3 more than we remember Eddie Jordan, and it's hard to say.
It's hard. It's hard to
Eddie
talk crap
Jordan.
because we're not being disrespectful to Eddie, but we have 7 Heisman Trophy winners. You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
a ton. I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
a ton
there's
of Heisman
so
Trophy
many
winners, all
that it
you know.
doesn't. It's not that we're taking shine away from that season or how good it was. It's just like, dude, we're used to it. So and we're used to natties too, but it's just not. It's just like. It's just different. It's hard to describe. Unless you're really in it, you really don't know it.
And let's be real. The fan of each team obviously is going to want a natty more. Like, that's what
100%.
they want more. But
Yeah.
memorability, it's pretty similar. Like I remember the Heisman Championship from almost every year, dating back to since I watched college football. Plus maybe even before that. But yeah, they're both obviously very memorable, so it's tough. But I would agree with what Matt said.
All right. I mean, it's like I said, it just depends on where you are, who you root for.
I think
and
it just depends.
See what happens with that. The next question. So I'm gonna throw it back to the early 2010s, late 2000s. There were some running backs by the name of Arian Foster and Jamal Charles took the league by storm for respectively the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Prime and healthy, who would you take on your team to go all the way and win a championship? Arian Foster or Jamal Charles? Brady, I'll start with you, actually.
This one's a tough one. Obviously, both had great primes. I think I want to go with Arian Foster in his prime. He was absolute stud in his prime. I know it was a short prime, but I think he was the slightly better player than Jamal. Really close, though. Both were very good. I just think he's more of a workhorse than Jamal. Point blank period is where I would go with what I would say there.
I think I would lean your way too, Brady. If I'm remembering correctly, I know for a fact that neither one of them was considered the best back in the league at any point. I don't think. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Adrian Peterson was always the best back.
There was maybe one year.
Chris Johnson had a year.
It's just
Shady
kind of a
McCoy
year
was
by
up
year
there.
thing.
Right, but I'm saying
I understand
there
what
was
you're
no at AP's peak, at Adrian Peterson's peak.
saying. No one touched it.
There was
Nobody
nobody
touched it.
in the debate who the best back was.
Nobody touched it.
So what I'm saying is, at Arian's and Jamal's peak, there was still a debate on just because they had a better season doesn't mean they're better back. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I guess neither one. You can't put either one in the category of they were the best back in the league at one point. So it's really close. Obviously, I think Arian's a little bit more of a workhorse. Clearly, Jamal's more of the speed. Just breakaway. Athletic dude, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm going to lean towards Arian, but dude, Jamal Charles was a freak too, man. He was fast, man. Fast as it gets, dude.
Those were some highlight reels right there. I mean, Arian Foster had a 3-year stretch where I'd say he was probably a top 2 or 3 back in the National Football League.
Oh, absolutely.
It was unbelievable. He basically led the Texans to their first ever playoff appearance in 2011. They beat the Bengals back-to-back years. Gotta make fun of that one. But yeah, I mean, he was a big part of it. Though.
You guys are
back. We are back. We are back indeed. And then Jamal Charles, a lot of people forget he was on a lot of bad Kansas City Chiefs.
He was on some bad Chiefs.
He was on some bad Chiefs teams with Matt Castle, a quarterback. Tyler Palko was a quarterback for a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys that were just throwing out foreign names out here. But but Jamal Charles was a mainstay whenever he was healthy. You knew it was at least 125 all-purpose yards a game. He's going to score a touchdown every which way possible, and that's just such a tough thing. I think with the team success and why they had to rely on this person, I think Arian Foster was a bit better. It's very, very close.
Very
I'd
close.
say.
I think it's very close.
Two more of these. I don't know if this is really much of a debate, but are sporting events too expensive for our fans to enjoy?
No, I would say they are definitely too expensive. They're not too expensive to enjoy. I just dumped $500 to watch the Buckeyes get their ass beat again against Michigan last year. Like, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
I would.
they were both
So
there.
I'm not gonna say
Couch.
it's too expensive. You just got to be smart.
What games are you going to this year?
I will be attending at Notre Dame,
Big,
at Purdue.
pretty big.
Which-
Hopefully I'm there. Hopefully I'm there with you as well.
Yes, so we're talking about a
Yeah.
little cut to the chase road trip there to West
are.
Lafayette.
We are. Yeah.
So I've been there before. The last time I was there was awful. A great campus.
I was as well
Yeah.
accompanied by Matt
a
Ricketts.
great campus. Okay, great time. I was loving the beer I was drinking. I mean, it was great. Like, I was really rolling it. Okay.
NSFW stuff to some people.
He flipped off some 10-year-olds as well.
Yeah. So I was really loving it. It was a great day.
No
a great
surprise.
day up until the game, dude. It was a perfect late October day, windy. It was just felt like football. So, anyways, that's just my Purdue story. So, Purdue, at Wisconsin,
That's a big
taking
one. That's a
taking
big
one of my best friends on a bachelor trip, buying him tickets to Camp Randall. It was at Wisconsin. It's Halloween weekend. It's going to be great, dude.
Our
It's
good
gonna-
friend Noah Eagle might be on the call for that on NBC.
Dude, that would be so
pretty
cool.
dope. That would
Yeah.
be pretty dope to see.
That would be so cool. Maybe he'll get me in the booth.
Get old big old Rick there.
Hey, Matt Ricketts in the booth there.
Come get it down, man.
And then I will be traveling to Ann Arbor, Michigan for
Invasion.
the game.
Invasion.
I did not go in 21. I did go in 19, and we beat their ass in
Brady
19.
went too as well.
I was
So,
there in 2019 with him. I was not there in 2021.
so hopefully, I'm a good luck charm in Ann
I
Arbor.
was there in 2021.
Okay. So yeah, but anyways, Brady, what do you think? Too expensive to enjoy or what?
They're definitely too expensive. I don't think anyone would argue that.
Not one bit.
It really is kind of crazy how much you look up to a home game at Ohio State. And you're like, oh my god, what is happening?
Eye-popping numbers to sit in the C deck.
Yeah. It's-
Sometimes.
Me and Matt, the game we were talking about, the $500, we were in the C deck. We were
Oh,
on
yeah.
the high for that.
But I've also
had-
spent $500 against with a top 10 matchup and been in the
Yeah.
front row.
Yeah. So the Michigan
So it's
game-
like
That's a wide range. Right there.
literally
Wide
Michigan
variety.
State game the year before, in
Iowa.
21, in Iowa.
That's a wide variety. Right there.
I spent I spent like $400 I'll get with the Iowa game this year, and then 2 years ago when we played Michigan State at home in 2021, when we were both top 10 teams,
Yeah.
I spent like $450 and got front rows like right on the railing of Ohio Stadium. So I mean,
You should
it just depends on. Everybody knows that the Ohio State Michigan game is going to be outrageous. I think the Ohio State Notre Dame game is going to be outrageous this year with it being in South Bend, dude. I have not been. I'm so excited to go
That
to South
doesn't
Bend.
happen all the time. And
I
Matt,
am
honestly,
too.
you should just give me $500.
Oh, absolutely.
Just give Green, give me 500 in
no.
general.
I ain't giving you
Spoke too
500.
soon, huh?
But I'm saying it's going to be 500. It's easy 500. I mean, but dude, Ohio State doesn't play at South Bend. That is one of the most.
You know
It
what I'm
doesn't
saying?
happen,
Yeah,
man. It hasn't happened in 30 years almost.
All right, D. Miller played in that game. There
That's
you
what
go.
I'm
Good thing
saying.
D.
It
Miller,
hasn't
yeah.
happened almost 30 years. It's going to be great to be at such a historical place.
Touchdown Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus. I mean, it's where Rudy was at. I mean, it's going to be awesome.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
There you go.
Yeah. So just to expand on this question about I still enjoy it. I still think it's worth
You
it,
gotta
but it's
enjoy
too
it.
expensive.
definitely worth it.
Oh, it's
but
worth
getting-
it. Oh,
it's
100% worth it.
I don't even regret going to either of the Michigan
Me
games I
neither.
just went to.
Me neither.
Like even after the game, yes, I regretted it. We know, we all said it.
We all get pissed, but
Yeah,
like,
that's
that's
true.
time.
we even vouched not to go back to.
But
But
now- yeah.
But we're going
had a
back.
pledge. Had a whole
I'll
pledge.
get
about
season
it.
tickets this year to the home games, and then I'll go to Michigan,
Yep.
Notre Dame, maybe Purdue.
Yeah.
We'll see where it takes us. It could be
What-
ridiculous.
dude, it could take us to more than 4. It could take us.
Maybe we'll be
Who
at
knows?
Indiana week 1. Who knows?
Yeah.
And for myself, obviously I go to a couple Ohio State games here and there. I'm more of a Bengals fan. The Bengals were bad for a good amount of time, and tickets were pretty reasonable.
Right.
They were very, very generous. So you just
They were pulling tickets out of their ass.
You got that
Those
right, man.
suckers.
Shoot.
like the
Come
Reds.
watch these stinky boys
The
over
other-
here.
the other
Yeah.
little-
that's facts.
The other professional team up in Cincinnati was selling tickets for $5.
Even when the Bengals were good with Andy Dalton, tickets were still pretty reasonable.
Right.
to get. I mean, I was sitting in like row 5, row 6 for like 90 a pop. Like, it was pretty crazy stuff. I will say I do kind of miss the fact of being able to go to 3 or 4 games a year, which I went to 4 games when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. It was it was brilliant to see all the
It
matchups.
was so magical.
But kind of had to retract it back 2 games a year. But I'll still take it though. The experience of going to a game, especially when your team wins, dude, it's next to none. Like, it's unbelievable.
I've been to
especially I finally can say this, and thanks to your demise of your Pittsburgh Steelers, going to an away stadium and winning.
It's so awesome.
is
Well,
unbelievable.
going to Ann Arbor,
I mean, you
yeah.
guys
winning
going to
the
Ann Arbor,
game.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Like,
God!
There's
All the
look,
dudes yelling at you.
Oh my God.
The
It's
second
gonna
best
be a
experience,
long-
the second craziest experience I've ever had was going on the road and winning
Yeah.
against Ann Arbor. The first, going on the road and losing in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
That was the.
Yeah.
You don't- I don't wanna
they
do it again.
Pumped it up, but
They pumped it
it's-
up
Yeah,
the
I
whole
know,
game.
I know.
They're second to none is a road game either way. It's going to be the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Home games still awesome.
Yeah,
though.
Jake was at the game too. He was you were pretty close. How many rows up were you? You were 4 rows up
Wow.
from all the action.
I was kind of close, not that close.
Jeez, that
I was
is-
in the end zone
Brutal.
I know.
of all the runs for the touchdown.
Yeah,
Like the
man.
one with all the one where Garrett Wilson mossed that dude. That's where you were. That's where I
Mhm.
was too.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yes.
Dude, it's crazy,
That was
man.
probably higher up than
I
you.
tell you, and then for the Bengals, I mean, those ticket prices are going up a bit. If I gotta sit up a little higher to go enjoy my team win a game, not too crazy high, but just kind of in that middle ground area and go to 2 games a season, I'll take it, man. That's what kind of goes with they are too expensive. When you're talking about sitting down lower and seeing all the action right up close, but they're definitely worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the last and biggest debate on the plate. A nice run there. LeBron, MJ. Who's the GOAT?
LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever walk the earth. He's just bigger, faster, stronger, better at every single thing than Michael Jordan in his prime. Better at literally every single thing. Brady.
Yeah. So
Literally, I think he doesn't have more championships. That's it.
yeah. Obviously, I'm a big North Carolina fan. So I love Carolina blue, everything that comes with it. But LeBron James is still my pick.
Oh yeah.
I think Matt exaggerated. I don't think he's better at everything than
He
Michael
is.
Jordan.
Yeah.
He's not a better defender than Michael
In his
Jordan.
prime,
That's
he
pretty
was.
straightforward.
I think he
will
was.
say.
I don't think he's a better defender, but I think
he was.
if he wants to turn it on and score, I think I would take him over Michael Jordan. I think he's a better passer. I think he's a better rebounder.
He's
He's
Uh,
the best passer.
I think all of that is. I think he's better. I think it's really, really close. I think it's so close.
I think it's close. I don't think it's really, 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 really close.
That
Well,
was like 7
it's
really,
close.
but all right.
calm down.
I think
It's
it's
really close.
I'm not trying to disrespect Michael Jordan.
Really.
LeBron, literally.
It's one of those things where you could pick one and have a great argument for it because Michael Jordan's undefeated in championships, has more championships.
That's fair.
We're
And-
more having a discussion than an argument. We're
Where's
not
the
going
leader?
to like, oh, he's the best player of all time, and you ain't shit.
Yeah, because we're all going to pick the
You
same
know?
player. Like,
Yeah.
and I would go with LeBron too, but it's really close.
Go James.
Oh man, but honestly, for me,
Just
You
say
know,
LeBron.
I would say LeBron, but dude, I think it's MJ.
Oh,
Really, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
my
gonna go out like that.
Outrageous.
I think
that close though. So.
I think the
it's
fact
close.
that-
I don't think it's
the
that
fact
close.
that I think that obviously LeBron's got 4 times, been to he was 8 straight NBA finals. We're not going to discount that one bit. Unbelievable stuff. But to go 6-0 in finals and win 3 in a row twice. I know LeBron's played with some scrubs and Channing Frye, like I said on another show, but I mean to still win 6,
No, it's incredible.
6-0.
It's
It's low key
It's
boat versus
unbelievable.
goat. It's like
It's
that
GOAT versus
conversation.
GOAT. You can whatever you kind of want more of, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your preference is. I know LeBron's a better passer. MJ's got the fadeaway. Everyone modeled their game after that. The fadeaway after MJ. Kobe's literally a direct, God rest his soul, a direct carbon copy of Michael Jordan. But
Yeah.
I just think Michael Jordan has such a big, I'm not gonna say bigger impact because they both have a very, very, very big impact on game basketball that's never ever going to be touched. But I just think the wins and some of those great performances Michael Jordan had are just a little bit better than LeBron James, and it's super, super close in this debate.
I mean, you're wrong. Dude, I'm not trying to discredit.
Okay,
I'm arguing against Matt,
It's-
and I picked the same player as him.
It's so hard.
we're just arguing up here, huh?
so hard to win multiple championships in a row.
It's tough.
So to do 3 in a row twice is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. Like Michael Jordan's, I mean, he's close, but I think there's separation. I do. Like, I just can't imagine you sitting and watching both basketball players in their prime and saying one's like LeBron is literally in their prime. I think LeBron was a better defender. Like, I think he literally
Maybe it's boat.
Literally,
I don't think Michael Jordan could take plays off though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I
it's-
guess, but like I'm
LeBron's
talking
Michael
about like
Jordan was less
2000.
of a crybaby.
Yes, that's true.
I
Yeah,
feel
they
like-
played in the era
I'll
where
give
he
you that.
couldn't do that shit because
But, like-
we're gonna beat each other up. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But I'm saying, like, dude, 2013 LeBron, bro.
Oh, he was
literally.
It's not even
it
that
was
we're debating
unreal.
who's better skilled.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
though,
he
like,
probably
this
is the best skilled player
Right.
of all time. That's why I'm saying boat best of all time versus GOAT.
versus-
greatest.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like so, like
I thought you were saying GOAT versus GOAT.
well, that too.
I mean,
but
there's still
Right, but that's
Either-
what I thought he was saying. I didn't
Yeah.
hear you say boat. So
Yeah,
I guess
boat.
I could give you that argument, maybe. Like it's like Michael Jordan is immortal because of what he did. Like he was the first to do 3 in a row. Air Jordan, the shoes, the dunk,
That's why I
the
got
hoop
him.
earring,
That's why I got him
bro.
up there.
Like his legacy is immortalized. Like he's a guy. He is like literally like as close to almighty as you can get. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's how people see him as a celebrity, as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
he's
it's-
like Matt
so-
Ricketts.
Nah, I'm not gonna put myself out there.
All
So,
right, all right.
Exactly.
Oh my
but-
gosh.
I just think LeBron James is the better player. That's
Well, we
that's
can
where I'm at.
respectfully, agree to disagree on this. Obviously, there are some arguments. This was more, but just
Just
a
a
great
great
conversation
discussion.
that we could, go along with for, as long as time goes on. And, obviously some people, really, really, really get into the heat of things.
What a show,
I
dude.
mean, this was awesome, man.
What
I
a
mean,
show!
the
Great show.
amount of people that have, come on our podcast and, bless us with their presence and all. I mean, we've done a ton of shows. It's been so fantastic.
What a show.
I would, I personally, I would like to thank everybody that's ever even been on the show real quick. There's a lot of names. All right?
Do it.
So
I echo
Obviously-
everything he says.
special thanks to our guests and contributors. You got Michael Sievert, Jake Cure, Jackson Weagle, Noah Eagle, Jordan Harbeck, Justin Pitt, Frank LaPlaca, Jason Romano, Jonah Arnold. You got Rob Ellis, Jake Shaver, Josh Apple, Jared Arvian, Tyreek Hutchinson, Silas Ray, Matt Crenshaw, Zach Smith, Chris Drew, Steve Weich, Katie Prefer, D. Miller, Ian Eagle, Casey Sloan, Delonte Hood, Garyon Conley, David Ehad, Tyvis Powell, Charlie Walter, and Tyler Smith. And you got, Jaden Pinkleton over there. And I see Jeff Pegan over there. Yeah, I know. I had to get the haircut down. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, trim it up. Yeah, exactly. That's, got to give it a little trim up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
this is, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This has been, this has been awesome, man.
I mean, this is a
100
great-
episodes.
Truly, I think it's one of our best episodes too. I thought it was. I had to rewatch it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we did great. I had a great time discussing stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, thanks to you guys for coming out, and thanks for you to getting us in, dude. I mean, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, Jaden and Jake, we appreciate you guys. Really appreciate it. And also thanks to everybody Chase just named.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of these guys, there's a
Big-
lot of people we've
big
had
time.
on.
Some of
Not-
I mean, some of these dudes just take the time out of their day. Like we've had former NFL first round draft picks. We've had college football, professional broadcasters. Like, dude, taking the time out of your day to come on here and contribute to our little podcast, trying to grow. I mean, dude, that's awesome. It's just out of the kindness of their heart, for real. So, and we've made new friends too. I mean, Chris Drew, dude, he's
Good
we're
friend
tied
of
with
the show.
him now.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
we're
are.
like good
Mhm.
friend of the show. Hell, he's a
Yeah.
good friend of us. You know what I'm
In
saying?
general,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
this
fantastic.
podcast has done a lot of growth for our friendships as well. I mean,
Yep.
we keep growing tighter. So I just can't wait to see where it takes us, man.
Exactly, man. I
Me
mean,
too.
we're trying to keep growing as a show. I mean, our friendships keep growing, and all that. We keep expanding as far as the eye can see. And I really say it from the bottom of my heart, man. I know these guys put a lot of time in it. I put a lot of time in it
Oh, yeah.
myself, and just we're trying to get the big heights, and it's a big deal, man. It really means a lot. Just you guys watching this and really just tuning in and showing some support. It means a good amount for our show and for myself as well. I really thank you guys. And
thanks guys for sure.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Absolutely.
This has been dope, and have a good night, everybody.
Peace.